going on, guys? It's your boy Dom Kemp here, and today we're back here with another sports podcast. I know it's been a while, but most definitely we will be back with some more later on information about the Kareem Hunt situation and stuff like that. But other than that, we're going to jump straight into it, you all. The Heisman Race, the final game of the season for most of these teams, the conference championship, has not yet been played yet. So that's why I am doing this in advance, mainly because I don't think they will necessarily count the conference championship games due to the fact that, let's just be honest, it is like a playoff matchup, and next Saturday's when the Heisman Trophy will be presented to the winner. So, guys, I'm going to start at number 5. It's all quarterbacks in the top 5, so it's not anything new with the exception of it's this kind of same concept in the NFL where many of the MVP awards are just all quarterbacks and no defensive players or no running backs or anything like that, except this year with Todd Gurley. But other than that, we're going to jump straight into it. The Heisman Race as of November 30th, guys. So a day away from December 1st. So I am definitely excited for the year to wrap up and conclude because I have a lot of new things that I will be bringing to the channel. But other than that, let's jump straight into it. Number 5 is Gardner Minshew. A weird name, but does play for Washington State at the quarterback position. His record for the team this season, because he's not going to be playing in a conference championship, aka the Pac-12 championship, he will not be playing in that because of the loss last week to their rivals, Washington, I believe. So the final record on the season was 10-2. Yes, they will make a bowl game, though, so I will be coming up with coverage after this weekend about all the bowl games and who to expect and predict those bowl game wins. So this is for the 2018 season, obviously, guys. We're concluding it tomorrow with the conference championship. Then, of course, the college football playoffs where the final 4 teams will play it out to see who's going to the Rose Bowl and or who's in the Rose Bowl as well as who's in the Cotton Bowl as well. But let's jump into it. The passing yards for Gardner Minshew from Washington State. Passing yards, 4,477 yards total. His completion percentage was 70.6 on the season with, of course, that air raid offense they do have in Washington State. As you can hear, from the touchdown to interception, 36 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So not that bad for him on the season, even though, of course, as I say, his play is catered for that position, especially since that is all they do at Washington State is pass the ball. His QBR this season was 77.7, so 7s across the board for that. Not too bad. Rushing yards were 103 with only 3 rushing touchdowns. It was only 103 because of course, they will count sacks against the quarterback, and that is exactly why they did that. So, for sure, let's move on. Number 4 is going to be Will Grier, quarterback for West Virginia. Record 8-3 on the season. I have no clue. Actually, I do have a clue where he is not going to be playing in the Big 12 championship because Texas and Oklahoma are playing tomorrow, so we're going to see how that goes. But his season pretty much ended with 8-3, unfortunately for him, for West Virginia for the 2018 season. Passing yards, 3,864 yards, and total completion percentage, 67%. His touchdown to interception ratio was 37 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a QBR total of 82.1. Of course, they will be playing in a bowl game because they did win more than 6 games this season. His rushing yards was negative 90, but that is also because he got sacked a lot, but he did have 3 rushing touchdowns. So he is in the 4th position right now as of November 30th for the Heisman voting. Number 3 is Dwayne Haskins, quarterback for Ohio State. He will be playing in a conference championship game against Northwestern tomorrow, Big Ten championship game. His record on the season was 11-1, and I also believe that if they do beat Northwestern, it'll be interesting, especially if Oklahoma beats Texas. We're going to have to see who slides into that 4th spot because Alabama does play Georgia once again, not in the final, of course, but in the SEC championship. We're going to see how that plays out tomorrow. Other than that, Dwayne Haskins, quarterback, passing yards this season, 3,674. His completion percentage was 69%. His touchdown to interception, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, QBR of 85.8. Rushing yards, 127, only 4 rushing touchdowns. Now, we're going to go to the final two who most likely will deal it out, but there's a reason this player is going to be number 1, but we're not going to get there just yet. Number 2, Kyler Murray. He was the replacement for Baker Mayfield when he did get suspended last year and played one possession. That's all he played last season, and now he's the starter, and he has shown us how great he is at the quarterback position. But he also got drafted by, I believe, the Baltimore Orioles in baseball. So after this college season, most likely he's going into the major leagues for the Baltimore Orioles in baseball. So that should be interesting how he got drafted for professional baseball and still played college football as well. Pretty interesting for Kyler Murray out of Oklahoma. They do have a conference championship, as I mentioned earlier, against Texas. So it should be interesting to see how that game plays out due to the fact that Texas is a rivalry game and Texas beat them last game by a field goal. So we're going to see how that turns out tomorrow. His record on the season is 11-1. It could advance to 12-1 if they do beat Texas, and then most likely, if it is possible, it's literally between them and Ohio State to who gets that final position, because a lot of people are expecting Georgia to lose once again to Alabama, but we shall see how that goes. I believe it's going to be a good game there. 2018 season, passing yards 3,674 on the season. Completion percentage was 70.6, and his touchdowns to interception was 37-7. So he had 37 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. Pretty interesting that he is one of those crazy athletes who played 2 sports, played baseball and football, and most likely will be going to the major leagues in baseball. So that should be pretty fun to see him play in the MLB. Other than that, guys, his QBR is a 96.1. He's playing like a running back. So he's pretty much a running back at the quarterback position with over 853 rushing yards, 7.5 yards per carry. So most likely the best in the NCAA at running the ball with 11 total touchdowns on the ground. Now, the last player has no meaning for introduction. He's the same player who last season in the championship game against Georgia, he ended up coming off the bench for Jalen Hurts and winning the national championship. It is the main man, Tua Tagovailoa. He is Hawaiian. He came from Hawaii last year, I believe, or maybe the year before, sitting on the bench for Jalen Hurts. It's interesting because he can do no wrong. In the sense of an Alabama quarterback, he's probably their greatest quarterback of all time, and he's only a sophomore. So he has one more year with Alabama. He also can possibly be a back-to-back Heisman if he wins it this year and plays at the same level next year. I would be afraid if he wins back-to-back Heisman. I think it's only been done one time, but that would be insane. Alabama, as I said, has a conference championship game against Georgia. So instead of them playing in the college football playoffs, most likely, we're going to have to see who wins in this game. If Georgia puts up a fight, I believe they will stay in the college football playoffs. Mainly because they are probably one of the best teams except Clemson who can match up with them on defense. The record on the season is 12-0, right before the conference championship game. 2018 season, passing yards 3,189. His completion percentage is 70.3. His touchdown to interception is impeccable. 36 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. His QBR, 95.9. And he hardly plays in the fourth quarter. So, yes, you have heard that. He's a Heisman favorite, and he hardly plays in the fourth quarter because Alabama is blowing everybody out. Every game they have played has been a deficit of 20 points or more. So they have been beating teams by 20 points or more, which is absolutely insane. But of course, everybody loves to say, "Oh, well, the SEC is tough." Yes, it is a tough conference. It is one of the toughest conferences to play in. But who are you playing outside of that? Yes, you aren't playing a lot of good teams outside of your conference, and I'm just going to say it now. I think they should be playing much tougher teams outside of their conference instead of just in the SEC, where they're somehow number one every single year. But that's just my opinion, and I'll probably save that for after the college football season to see how it all plays out and let you guys know my thoughts and feelings on the season, because it has been premeditated already, and we already know who's going to be in the college football playoff as well as in the final, and I believe it's going to be Alabama. His rushing yards is for 211, and his touchdowns are 5 touchdowns on the season. But you all, that is pretty much it. I just wanted to run down the stats and let you all know that, yes, I believe that Mr. Tua is going to win the Heisman, mainly because it is hard to dispute. If he would play in the fourth quarter, he would probably have 56 touchdowns and maybe 4 interceptions. That's insane. That is just especially in college, where everybody's an athlete on the defensive side. But we shall see how it goes tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can recap all of it for you on Sunday, mainly because I got a lot to do tomorrow. So other than that, though, you all, thank you for listening to this podcast. Those of you who have stayed and supported the channel. I've seen a few new subscribers, even though I haven't uploaded. So I definitely appreciate those of you who have continued to stay on the channel, looking for any sort of podcast information. Guys, let me know what you want to hear, what you want me to talk about. I'm thinking about talking on Sunday. I'm thinking about talking about the Kareem Hunt situation, mainly because it is going to be NFL Sunday, as well as, of course, it's a big deal in the NFL right now. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Wow.